I want you to imagine stepping into a room and feeling the world shift around you. As if every conversation, every gaze, every subtle glance is quietly acknowledging that you belong there. Not just physically, but energetically, emotionally, and psychologically, like you are the epicenter of everything unfolding. That's what happened to me after 30 days of this protocol. A meticulously designed set of rituals, choices, and inner calibrations that recalibrated my presence, my aura, and even the way my body and mind resonate with the world. And let me be clear, this wasn't about looking good or dressing provocatively. Though yes, the way I carry myself now has people stopping mid-step. This is about presence, power, and an unshakable alignment that radiates authority without effort. That whispers dominance instead of shouting it. And that makes people unconsciously gravitate toward you. I remember the first morning after week 1, waking up with a spine so straight, a gaze so intentional, and a rhythm in my steps that even I paused to admire it. Because for the first time in months, I felt like the main character of my own story. The kind of woman who doesn't wait for validation, who commands attention simply by existing in her full integrity and brilliance. I started noticing things almost immediately. Strangers would smile a little longer than usual. Colleagues would pause mid-sentence to find the right words. Men who had previously brushed past me without acknowledgement now tried to catch my eye. And women around me seemed to soften in my presence, reflecting energy they hadn't realized was contagious. It was the subtle, intoxicating psychology of high-value energy. When you inhabit your own power fully, the world mirrors it back. I began integrating micro-rituals that heightened this careful nutrition to fuel my body with vitality. Meditative practices to align my emotional frequency. Subtle body language adjustments that communicated confidence without arrogance. And the deliberate cultivation of calm, magnetic energy that is simultaneously inviting and untouchable. And as I noticed the first shifts, I started journaling them, tracking micro-interactions, and studying the invisible forces that now seem to bend effortlessly around me. The philosophical twist that elevated it all was realizing that, as Marcus Aurelius once wrote, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. I applied that literally, not abstractly, aligning my mind, body, and presence so perfectly that outside validation became an echo of internal sovereignty. By day 7, I could feel the difference in the way I carried myself. And by day 10, people were reacting before I even spoke. This is the foundation of the protocol. Every detail matters. Every choice amplifies your energy. And when done correctly, you do not chase. You are pursued, noticed, admired, and subtly revered without demanding it. And this is your first lesson. My sisters, presence is cultivated, attention is magnetized, and power is quiet until it needs to announce itself. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment your biggest takeaway, because awareness of this energy is the first step to embodying it. By the second week, the alchemy deepened. I began walking into spaces not to be seen, but to be felt. I noticed men adjusting posture, glances lingering, subtle hesitation in their interactions, because my energy now occupied more space than the room physically allowed. Women unconsciously mirrored me, softening, seeking, admiring, because magnetic presence is contagious. And when your alignment is precise, it demands reflection. The beauty of this phase was learning that the protocol isn't just about external validation, it's about absolute alignment inside. I began to experiment with conversational dominance, carefully timed pauses, a voice modulated to communicate calm authority, laughter that was deliberate yet soft, gestures that conveyed openness but subtly enforced boundaries. Men who had long ignored me now found themselves leaning in, asking questions, attempting to gauge who I really was, while women approached me for subtle guidance, energy cues, or just to witness how I moved through the world without compromise. The psychological triggers embedded in this protocol: body language, energy calibration, hormonal balance, and mindset reinforcement what make it so intoxicating. It's not a superficial transformation. It's a neurological, emotional, and relational upgrade. And then came the luxury details, subtle dominance expressed in my wardrobe, the deliberate curation of spaces that amplified my energy, the conscious use of red and gold tones to evoke power, wealth, and vitality, all while maintaining effortless grace. Men's attention became almost ceremonially paused, hesitated, and lingered because they sensed a woman operating on a frequency beyond their control. Women's admiration shifted from casual observation to deep, reflective engagement. And this is where the philosophical truth hit me. As Lao Tzu said, mastering others is strength. Mastering yourself is true power. I realized that in these 30 days, I had mastered not just myself, but the gravitational pull of my energy. And suddenly, the world couldn't help but respond. Every elevator, every room, every cafe became a stage where my presence was the plot. And everything and everyone else subtly adapted to my rhythm. And so I tell you this. Sisters, don't chase, don't plead, don't explain. Cultivate your internal main character energy meticulously. Observe how the world reacts, and understand that pursuit is a byproduct of alignment, not force. Comment your biggest takeaway and witness how recognizing the nuances of this energy transforms not only perception, but the very experience of being alive in public spaces. By the final week, I was no longer a participant in my life, I was the author, director, and protagonist of every scenario, every encounter, every glance. I walked into a brunch and noticed men who had once been indifferent instinctively adjust to my presence, subtly competing for attention without realizing why. Women who had ignored me before were now drawn near, seeking the energy, the rhythm, the aura I now emanated effortlessly. Even simple spaces became charged with my narrative. The barista paused a second too long. The stranger on the street smiled just slightly longer. All because I had completed the 30-day protocol that aligned my energy, body, mind, and aura into a cohesive, magnetic force. And the psychological hack here is simple but rarely understood. Your alignment communicates more than your words ever could. It rewrites unconscious perceptions, and it creates desire, admiration, and subtle reverence almost automatically. I remember standing in a crowded room, feeling how conversations subtly bent toward me, noticing how glances met mine just long enough to register attention before darting away, sensing that men were recalibrating their interest, and women were quietly recalibrating their admiration. And in that moment, the philosophical clarity arrived. Power is quiet, sovereignty is magnetic, and presence is unstoppable when it is fully embodied. By the 30th day, I was not just noticed, I was the main character, the gravity around which social dynamics subtly rotated, and the energy that demanded recognition. I want you to leave this with one final thought. My sisters, embody this energy, cultivate it deliberately, and the world will naturally write you as the protagonist of your own story. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment your biggest takeaway, because when you begin applying these principles, when you align body, mind, and presence, everything else of the tension, the admiration, the subtle reverence follows effortlessly. You are the main character. Claim it, own it, rule it, and once you step fully into this, there is no turning back. Only magnetic forward motion into every room, every conversation, and every interaction where you are meant to shine. And here's the subtle, transformative secret most people never see. Being the main character isn't about spectacle, it's about how you occupy space, how you breathe, how your energy ripples through a room before you even speak. I started noticing patterns I had never registered before: the way someone unconsciously mirrors your posture, the way voices soften or quicken around you, the tiny pauses that signal respect, hesitation, or even awe. It's in those micro moments that power whispers rather than shouts. And when you learn to read them, you begin to orchestrate reality effortlessly. By integrating this protocol, I tune my hormones, my mindset, my posture, and my daily rituals so precisely that my presence became a gravitational force. People now approach me differently because they sense I am aligned, I am intentional, and I am unapologetically sovereign. And the most intoxicating part, I don't have to demand attention or chase validation, it flows to me. Naturally, elegantly, like it has always belonged there. Men who once dismissed me now pause, glance, linger. Women who once ignored me now seek subtle guidance, mirroring my energy without realizing why. Every interaction becomes a stage, every glance a narrative, every space I enter an arena where I am not just noticed, but felt deeply. This is the true essence of feminine power. Magnetic, effortless, dominant in its quiet, seductive in its calm, irresistible in its authenticity. And once you feel this, once you embody it, the world doesn't just see you, it revolves around you. So I want you to take this, sisters, integrate it, live it, and watch how 30 days of deliberate alignment turns every space into your spotlight, every conversation into your stage, and every interaction into a reflection of the woman who refuses to settle for anything less than magnetic sovereignty. Comment your biggest takeaway, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Because the moment you step into this energy fully, there is no going back. Only the forward motion of claiming your main character energy in every moment, every room, and every encounter.